Senators Chuck Schumer and Bernie Sanders say they will deliver on the next stimulus package. Senator Warren says this one thing will improve the supply chain issue. Schumer and Representative Omar say President Biden needs to keep his promise to forgive student loan debt. All this and much, much more on today's update. Hello and welcome to today's October 15th daily news report, as well as ongoing stimulus package information video. If you're a subscribed member of my community, then welcome back. And if you're not, consider subscribing right now so I can keep you up to date on what's going on in Washington, D.C., this next stimulus package, the U.S. economy, money, investing, and much, much more. Now, this is your daily reminder as we go into the weekend to enter your name and email to be one of the winners of the $10,000 in cash that Casey and I are giving away. All of our YouTube subscribers are allowed to put their name in, and it only takes about 20 seconds. I'll make sure to leave a link below. Also, I want to thank today's video sponsor, Peddle, for helping my community get access to credit while rebuilding their credit, and I'll tell you more about them later in the video. All right, now I want to correct a mistake that I made in yesterday's broadcast. Yes, I'm not perfect, so this is me asking for your forgiveness. I had said inadvertently that Social Security would be getting a boost of 2.9% next year, and I meant to say 5.9%. So my apologies for that mistake, but at least it was a mistake where you'll be getting more money and not less. So forgive me for that, but it's 5.9% starting next year. Former President Bill Clinton was hospitalized late last night. They said it is not COVID related, but it is an infection that has become septic. He has been transferred to the ICU. Senator Bernie Sanders is fighting to keep the next stimulus package at its new $3.5 trillion price tag. Sanders said, if we were to lower it now, while we control all three branches of the federal government, it will look like Democrats can't get things done for the American people. So his suggestion is to leave the price tag exactly where it is. Sanders said this: what we are talking about with our budget bill is not a wish list. These are real material needs of the American people. Maybe, just maybe, it's time Congress delivered for the working class and not just the billionaire class. Now, Sanders defends the price tag while at the same time saying this isn't a wish list. These are actionable items that will lift the working class while having the billionaire class pay for it. Sanders then publicly called out two companies that are talking about raising their prices, but not raising workers' wages. He had this to say: profits at John Deere have skyrocketed by some 61% in recent years, while its CEO's salary has exploded by 160% since the start of the pandemic. Please do not tell me they can't afford to pay working families. He then went after Kellogg's cereal, who has just raised their prices. He said Kellogg's made record-breaking profits and pays its CEO $12 million in compensation. But they want to slash pay and benefits for the workers who made the products. Enough is enough. So these groups want to raise prices on the American people, keep wages the same for American workers, and give themselves in top leadership giant boosts in their income for doing it. All right, now I have a lot more to tell you about the next stimulus package and how it will help you. But first, let me tell you about today's video sponsor. I want to thank today's video sponsor, Peddle. The Peddle 2 card is a new way for members of my YouTube community to get access to credit while improving their credit score. Many people have never had a credit card, or they have a past credit mistake that has made them unable to get a new credit card. The Peddle 2 card allows you to see if you qualify, not just based on your FICO score, but your banking history may be used to instantly create a cash score, a measure of your credit worthiness based on income, spending, and savings. I remember a time in my life when I was unable to get a credit card for not having enough established credit. The Peddle 2 card can help you establish credit, while the Peddle app helps you track spending and make on-time payments. Also, you get 1% back on eligible purchases and 1.5% back on eligible purchases after 12 on-time monthly payments. You're already spending money each month. You might as well get money back on your purchases. The Pedal 2 card credit limit ranges from $500 to $10,000 based on your credit worthiness, which can help you keep your credit utilization low, a key component to building credit. As of today, the Pedal 2 variable APR ranges from 12.99% to 26.99%. So go to pedalcard.com/Stephen to find out more and get started today. You can even see if you're pre-approved without impacting your credit score. Pedal 2 card is issued by Web Bank, member FDIC. Okay, now let's get back to today's video news. Senator Sanders has pointed out something that is really, really true, and I think he's one of the only people brave enough in Washington, D.C. to admit this. But he actually says that it's the government and the government policies that are hurting the American people most, not just businesses and not just capitalism. Now, I was shocked to hear him admit this, but he did. So he's basically saying, listen, it's the government policies that have allowed things to get as far out of control as they are today. He went on to say this: working class people in America have waited for decades while their needs were neglected by the government. I will not ask working parents, the children, seniors, the sick, and the poor to continue to wait just to satisfy the wants of a handful of billionaires and corporations. So he says, based on government policy, if you are a working parent, you've been neglected. If you are a child, you've been neglected. If you are a sick person or a senior, you've been neglected. And I think a lot of people in my community actually feel that. That resonates with a lot of people. Now, yesterday, I told you how Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, the two richest men in the world, have been trolling each other on Twitter and other areas of the internet. Well, now Senator Bernie Sanders is trolling them. He had this to say: and 1 out of 4 Americans can't afford to fill prescriptions their doctors have prescribed them. Let's tax Mr. Musk and tax Mr. Bezos so that they finally pay their fair share of taxes and invest that money into the many, many not long neglected needs of working Americans. So he believes it's time that these billionaires give back to the country that allowed and supported their businesses to make them billionaires, right? To make them rich, right? So, hey, you guys, because of America and government policy, you've won the game of capitalism. There's no way you can spend all that money. Let's now give some back to the rest of the working class, is what he's basically saying. Now, today and over the next week, parents with children should be receiving their 4th installment of the child tax credit monthly checks. Will you let me know in the comments if you've received your money or if it's pending? Thank you so much. Thanks in advance for letting me know. All right, now earlier today, Representative Pramila Jayapal said, today would be a great day to deliver paid leave, childcare, climate action, healthcare, and affordable housing to millions of people across this country. Let's get this done and let's build back better. Now, these are strong and optimistic words from Representative Jayapal. As of last week, however, Representative Jayapal had been saying more and more that she was open to a smaller price tag than 3.5 trillion, but she said that she and her cohorts remain committed to not passing the $1.2 trillion bipartisan physical infrastructure bill passed in the Senate back in August. Senator Chuck Schumer is again petitioning President Joe Biden to keep his campaign promise to forgive $10,000 of student loan debt or more. Schumer said this act alone would improve the economy. Representative Ilhan Omar also said that it's now time to keep your promise or admit that you can't or won't forgive student loan debt. So she's basically saying, poop or get off the toilet, right? Sorry, that was a bit crass. All right, now Representative Omar said that a new study shows forgiving student loan debt more than any other thing would take pressure off of American citizens, and it would raise the U.S. GDP by $108 billion each and every year. So she sees this as a way of improving American lives and the American economy, which would then benefit everyone else who doesn't have student loan forgiveness. I know that there's mixed feelings in the community. If you don't have student loan debt, then it feels like you're being left out if they forgive it. And if you do, you think, oh my gosh, this would change my life for the better, right? So that's where we sit with Schumer and Omar telling the president, keep your promise or admit that you can't, right? Now, Senator Elizabeth Warren says, we don't have a supply chain issue. Here's what she had to say. We have a women not going back to work issue. She said all of these supply chain issues will be resolved once the $3.5 trillion spending bill is passed. So she thinks that the bill is going to make these ports move quicker and the truckers move supplies faster and all of that because they will have more women in the workforce. So she didn't say that, but that's kind of what, as I was reading between the lines, she's basically saying women back in the workforce will alleviate the supply chain issue, but we can't do that without passing the $3.5 trillion stimulus package. Warren said it's time to support women, children, and families in order to grow the whole economy. All right, now speaking of supply chain issues, rising prices, and barren shelves, the number one thing trending on Twitter today is hashtag bare shelves Biden. So people are not happy with President Biden when it comes to the supply chain issues, and more people are scared that there aren't going to be groceries, everyday supplies, or Christmas or Hanukkah gifts when we come into the holiday season. Now, more and more stores are admitting that they're having a hard time keeping their shelves stocked. Government leaders are asking people to buy what they need, but not to contribute to buying more than you need and making it harder for the next person to get what they need, right? To get their supplies. So essentially, don't panic buy. Don't go out and just buy everything you can, because you actually hurt the next several families that also need those items. So anyway, that's what government leaders are saying to the American public right now. By the way, thank you guys so much for giving these videos a like. I really appreciate it, and I just love bringing you guys the news. All right, now a second state has come out against the $600 IRS spying provision in the next stimulus package. State Treasurer of Missouri said he will not allow the IRS to snoop through Missouri residents' private money or their private life. So he's basically coming out against it. It might be time for all of us to call the Attorney General in our state or the treasurer in our state and tell them to defend us, because this does not stimulate the economy. This is just straight up spying, in my opinion. All right, now lastly, a new worldwide study shows that depression and anxiety are up by 25% globally. I know within my YouTube community, that number is much higher. Recently, I ran a poll on my channel asking on a scale of 1 to 5 how anxious or stressed you were, and 58% of you said you are at a 5, which is maximum stress, maximum anxiety. So please find ways to work through that stress and anxiety. I'm trying to bring you guys the most up-to-date, accurate, and truthful information. No clickbaiting, no lying. I wish I could make the government move faster, but please keep your heads up. Don't do anything permanent based on a temporary situation. I think we're going to get through this. All right, now I know that 2021 has been a hard year for many people. It sounds like Bernie Sanders and Chuck Schumer are still fighting on your behalf to get the stimulus package passed. Hopefully, some part of the stimulus package helps you or does something for somebody in your family or in your life. But this is my update for today, right? As I know more, I'll definitely come on and share more. Today was much more optimistic. The last couple of days have just been a lot of heavy news. But it does sound like those that are at the head of the Democrat Party have not given up hope and have not given up fighting to get these bills passed. Whether you believe they're good or bad, they are fighting to get those passed. Now, before you go, do make sure to get your name and email entered to be one of the winners of the $10,000 that Casey and I are giving away. One of you is going to win $5,000 and 10 of you are going to win $500. And I'm excited to give that money out as we go into the holiday season, as we go into, the cold weather, things like that. Also, make sure to check out the Pedal 2 card to start rebuilding your credit. Get a new credit card. And I'll make sure to leave a link below for that as well. Now, before you go, I just want to remind you that you are amazing. Never, never, never forget that. I appreciate you being in my community, and I'll see you on the next video.